Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Secrets of a Witch podcast, where I talk about life, love, magic, spirituality, and everything in between. With me, Sabrina Scott, witchy human, happy person, artist, writer, you know the drill. So, thank you for listening if you're this far. Today I want to talk about affirmations. As y'all know, I have been babbling about affirmations for a little bit now. It's a newer aspect of what I've been preaching, and I just want to take a minute to explain what they are and why they're awesome and how do they work. So, how do affirmations work? Let's get into it. So as I've started to talk more about affirmations in my work as a witchy coach, spiritual teacher, etc., I definitely have received a little bit of skepticism from my fellow lovely witchy folks. I get it. I used to be skeptical too, till I tried it. So what the hell is an affirmation anyway, and why should you care as a witch? Don't we just do magic and call it a day? Well, yes, we can, of course, and many people do, and that's totally cool. But over the years, I've come to realize that affirmations are such a powerful tool for personal transformation and are beneficial to, honestly, everybody, whether you are witchy, just plain spiritual, or even if you don't believe in anything and you're just an atheist who, is down to try some stuff. Helpful for everyone. So you might be wondering, how do affirmations work? How can they influence our thoughts and help us change our behavior? Because that is kind of the point, right? So affirmations involve working with energy and vibrations like we do in magic to change your life. Ideally, to transform it radically for the better through changing what's going on in your brain. Specifically, who you believe you are and what you feel is possible for you. So if you're paying attention, you'll probably notice that kind of sounds a lot like magic and witchcraft, right? So the idea behind why it works is super multifaceted and can be explained psychologically, scientifically, and spiritually. For realsies, there's many books on my shelf all about this. So psychology-wise, psychologically, affirmations allow us to, through repetition, reprogram our brains and our thought patterns. So when we replace limiting negative thoughts and beliefs with positive ones, even if it feels kind of fake at first, eventually it does become our reality. We actually stop believing negative things about ourselves and our potential. We stop judging our past selves, our past behavior, and instead start to genuinely believe that we are capable of great things. Thoughts are habits, and harmful thought patterns can be broken down with affirmations. Our defaults can absolutely change, and that can also change our cell structure, believe it or not. There's a lot of research done by psychology professionals and scientists about the power of belief in improving health outcomes. 100% true. A positive, optimistic mindset can often help us heal faster. Belief actually can change how our cells behave, no joke. There's limitations to this, obviously, but positive belief can help more often than not. If you want to look more into that, you can look at the research on neuroplasticity, post-traumatic growth. There's also some really interesting stuff on the power of belief and placebos and all of that, and that is super magical, super interesting. There's tons of books about it, well-researched, very interesting, very cool stuff. And of course, here's my disclaimer to still go to the doctor if you're sick. I love the doctor. I'm there all the time. Please also go. Okay, so just because you're doing affirmations does not mean you need to stop believing in science. I believe they work together. That's my disclaimer. Please go to the doctor, okay? So moving on to consider affirmations and how they work from a spiritual perspective. Affirmations are a way of working with energy and shifting our energy signature in a conscious way. If we vibrate at a particular frequency, we'll likely attract people, situations, and circumstances that are on the same wavelength that we are, which is really cool. So you've probably seen this in your life before, right? Misery loves company, for instance, and positive people tend to be attracted to and make time for other positive people. When we expect good things to happen, they often do. We tend to get what we think we can have, right? If we think that all people suck, then when people suck, we're just going to stick around rather than say, oh, this person sucks. Like, I'm not going to bother with that because I know there's better stuff out there. So affirmations can actually help open us up on a spiritual level, and they can be a direct challenge to complacency, which I think is great. Affirmation practices challenge people to expand their idea of what they think is possible for them and how a good life can feel, right? What is even possible? And that can be about money, it can be about love, it can be about whatever, right? Like, people often sell themselves short, and I know I've done that in the past, and there's probably some aspects of life that I'm still doing that with, I just don't realize it yet. And so that's why these affirmations keep moving. It's so important to keep up-leveling our vibes and our beliefs. And so affirmations can help us break whatever ceilings we have, or at least begin to become more comfortable with challenging whatever those ceilings are that we are self-imposing on our situations. They can help us move towards expansion and growth, which I think is great. So you might be wondering, this is like a really common question that I get. So how can affirmations build confidence? So a great first step to working with affirmations to improve our confidence could be, let's say, to write down whatever negative, self-defeating, limiting beliefs or fears you have. This could be a quality or habit, a belief that you feel is holding you back. So first, write it down, then switch it, write the opposite. So let me give a little example just for the sake of it, just so you guys understand what it is I'm trying to say. So let's pretend somebody's internal dialogue is, I suck at my job, I'm afraid of my boss, I'm ugly, no one likes me, I'll never amount to anything. So if I were to coach that imaginary person and help them create some affirmations, I might suggest something like, I am talented and capable, my boss and coworkers respect and appreciate me, I am confident and comfortable at work. I look great. I love my body. I love myself. I attract and am surrounded by people who get me. I am worthy of greatness and I am destined for success, and so on, tailored specifically to this like imaginary person's challenges and goals and all that stuff. So the point here is to think big and state all the affirmations in the present tense, not the past tense. So I always recommend my students recite their affirmations out loud or mentally, or even just read it multiple times a day, in the morning, at lunch, and right before bed. Think them, journal them, write them down again and again on repeat. Visualize what life would be like and how it would feel to be that person you're affirming yourself to be. It can absolutely feel silly at first, but it actually does work wonders. I know for me, I felt kind of ridiculous at first doing it, but over time, it's become just a way of life, honestly. And I don't even second guess it anymore because it's so effective. So for some folks, I don't know, like what your own way of learning and remembering stuff and internalizing stuff is. Some people it's going to be reading, others it's going to be listening again and again. I often suggest my students literally write them down like 100 times or copy and paste them 100 times on a Word document, print it out, record yourself saying the affirmations, whatever. Listen to it as much as possible, read it as much as possible, whatever works for you. So my disclaimer is, like, obviously simply stating an affirmation won't always change how our boss or like whatever, our lover, whatever that we're unhappy with, like our own brain, like it's not going to change overnight, right? A crappy boss is a crappy boss. But working with an affirmation in that example I just gave can help someone step into an empowered energy, which inspires them to either stand up for themselves at work or move on to another position where they are absolutely valued and they feel valued. or in a situation where the boss is actually totally fine and it's just a negative self-image thing that's the problem, affirmations can help people reorient perspective there too, right? Super cool, super important. So here's some do's and don'ts. So if you're wondering, how do you come up with affirmations that work? Here is my do and don't list. Prepare yourself. So, do say your affirming phrases around what you want to manifest in the present tense, even if they haven't happened yet. Crucial. Don't say your affirmations in the future tense, because this will always keep it in the future, and we don't want that. Do repeat your affirmations often. Repetition is key to creating belief and faith, and that is really, really important to maintain that no matter what our external circumstances look like. Don't give in to feeling embarrassed, like a fraud, or like you're doing something that is stupid or that won't work. Your skepticism and your paranoia will work against you and will negatively impact your energy, your vibe, and the success of your affirmations. So try to stay positive instead. Do journal your affirmations, visualize them in your mind, create vision boards, spend time feeling how you think you'd feel if you achieved what you want to manifest through the affirmations. If it's love, really feel into your body, what would it feel like to be experiencing that level of love? If it's around money, what would it feel like to be paid a certain amount of money? Feel it. Journal it, be it, do it. Don't do your affirmation once and then totally forget about it. Repetition is the key, as I've said. So those are my quick little tips, friends. That is my crash course in audio format on affirmations, what the hell they are, how do they work, and some super quick and breezy do and don't tips so that you are on your way to being a pro at affirmations. I know, it feels silly at first and like you are gonna feel ridiculous. I know. Work through it. The only way out is through, and honestly, it is so worth that initial discomfort and that initial feeling of silliness. It has completely changed my life. I would not be teaching you guys about it if it wasn't something that I 100% could stand by and believe in due to my own lived experience. All right. Thank you for listening, friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you dig it, please leave me a fun little review. I like the 5-star reviews best, so please leave one of those. And if you know anyone that you think would be into this podcast or anything that I have to say, please do me a favor and do them a favor. Help them change their life by sending them this episode if you think someone could benefit from learning these little bits about affirmations. I do have a breezy Claim Your Magic affirmation series, which you can purchase for super, super cheap on my website, sabrinamscott.com. Just click courses. It's there somewhere. If you can't find it, send me a message and I will help you with the link. It will absolutely help you get started if you do need that guidance, and if you feel a bit too embarrassed or silly to come up with your own, it can be a really great guide to get you kickstarted. So again, you can check out more about me, Sabrina Scott, at sabrinamscott.com. That is my website. My Instagram is sabrinamscott. This has been the Secrets of a Witch podcast with Sabrina M. Scott, myself. How many times can I say my name in a short amount of time? I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, friends, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.